I have been waiting for this game since 2017. I've read preview articles over the years, heard people on podcasts talk about the game since it's been at PAX all the time. I wanted my own chance with the hands-on experience, and I finally got it. Since the game has been released. Katana Zero is the latest entry in the really weird subgenre of 2D action games whose roots begin with run-and-gun games. Games like Contra and the levels that aren't boss fights in Cuphead. It's a subgenre so small people don't know how to talk about the games that come from it. So for Katana Zero, I've seen it compared to Hotline Miami, and I've seen a lot of discussion around its art style or soundtrack. I'll start here too, since we can go through it pretty quickly. Katana Zero utilizes pixel art as a bedrock for its presentation. It really reminds me of the larger pixel style of something like Metal Slug without all of the wavy movement. It's clean, but it's not minimalistic. It also uses a lot of fancy effects to sell the overall feel of the game. There is a lot of distortion in attacks, particle effects, and fun lighting to make every scene pop. It relies heavily on these to keep the game fresh and not feel visually stale. It definitely has the most flair when it comes to the best games in its subgenre. The music in this game is pretty great. There were so many moments where I felt like it was pushing me to do better, making me move forward. This makes me think of Fury, whose soundtrack is orgasmic, but this one doesn't push as hard. It fades in and out during gameplay due to the song constantly restarting. It seems to be a collection of tracks from a group of people, all from one record label, which adds a variety to the vibe of the music. Each level and instance gets its own track, but there might be a couple of pieces that are used multiple times, giving the game a sense of cohesion, but also making each part feel distinct. I really like it, but sometimes it takes too much of a backseat, and I wish it was a little more present. Now here's where things get tricky. In pretty much every single game of the subgenre, the character changes. Whether that comes in the form of new weapons, abilities, or upgrades, the game makes sure to evolve your playstyle as the levels get more intricate. Katana Zero does not do this, and it barely gets away with it. There is no change up in game mechanics whatsoever. You will go around and slash people to death for the whole thing. There are a couple of instances where this is not the case, but that is literally 2 scenarios out of the entire game. There are also a few fights where you face much tougher enemies, but that happens like 3 times. So for 90% of the game, you kill the same guys over and over, but the monotony is hidden pretty well. With varying stages and different gimmicks along the way, you feel alright as you massacre entire levels worth of people. It's the variety of locations, small jokes hidden through the levels, and attention to detail that really makes this game fun. There is a motorcycle section where you take people out on a highway. There was a short minecart track where I feel like I'm playing Donkey Kong, and you have the ability to stab a homeless man. So to keep gameplay interesting by giving the varying locations, the game relies on something surprising: its story. Gunpoint, Ronin, and Deadbolt are the games that define the subgenre. Not only are they all 2D action games, but they even represent different playtypes. Gunpoint focuses on stealth. Ronin blends stealth with action, providing a semi-turn-based experience, and Deadbolt is like the Halloween version of John Wick where it rains headshots all day. Katana Zero is most like Deadbolt due to their pure action focus, but it does something that none of these games have done, and I was not expecting. It really gives a shit about its story. Like, it's not just some text you read before missions and not some surface level bullshit. You have a character dealing with PTSD, hallucinations maybe, government cover-ups of secret projects, a tale of revenge, and crazy characters. It's all written pretty well, and there are no lapses in character judgment. It's all pretty clean here. No spoils, but I have to say, it really brought me in closer to the game. I cared so much, and it honestly became the driving force for me. Another really great addition to the storytelling is a dialogue system. You have different topics for how you want conversations to go. You can nudge characters to be a little harsher when speaking with people or have a lighter touch. The different options don't change the outcome of the game though. There is only one ending, but it still allows you a little wiggle room of control. But not everything is rainbows and sunshine. Katana Zero lacks some of the special sauce that makes me want to replay it. There is no gradual ramp up in difficulty, no system that forces you to follow the rules, and no meaningful change in gameplay. There are 5 different enemies that you kill moment to moment, and that's pretty much it. But the most interesting thing about this game is that it's only half complete. Kinda. This is a full game. If you wanted to buy this, I would suggest you do so. If you want to shoot people and maybe have a little bit of better music and cleaner level design, play Deadbolt. But There is no getting around the fact that the game takes you all the way there. Right as you and the story are about to climax, it cuts off and leaves you with a to be continued screen. I honestly thought it was going to pull a Simpsons movie where it continued immediately, but it did not. A reviewer who got the game early contacted developers and they confirmed some small DLC and then a sequel to the game. Now, I cannot complain about how much content you get for your dollar here. I finished the game in about 5.5 hours, which I am pretty positive about. Other games at this price point like Ape Out border the 2 to 3 hour mark, which I find pretty bad. So I'm not suggesting that the team should have waited to put the whole story into the game, but I was left with a weird feeling when I saw the credits roll. I wasn't itching for more, I had the feeling of wanting to complete something instead. I didn't feel satiated because the gameplay's okay, so I was left in a little bit of a limbo, and you should know that when deciding to buy this game or not. I don't think this is a situation where a story was played out and a cliffhanger was left to make people want more. It felt like the team had a story and split it down the middle. There was a distinct feeling of half a game still left to play, or a third still left to play. So I'm glad this game finally came out and was pretty good. There were a lot of theories about it over the years, and you can see little remnants of those that were changed or removed as it was in development. I really wish the rewind effect was a little smoother and didn't take as long. I guess I'm now awaiting the DLC and sequel to Katana Zero.